Beep, 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 beep. Monday, Monday. Looks good to me. It's a glorious morning. I watched the sunrise. Fantastic. We like to see it. Okay, so hello and welcome once more to the Jesters channel. Hello. At the meeting last night, the Q&A with the potential new warrior teachers. There's some great folk in the group. It's going to be really exciting. So if you haven't already, it's in the Dubras if you want to join. You've got a few days left. Okay, we've got 3 dates available. We've got a few days left. I'll put something up about it later, actually, just to sort of, cement the idea. So what have I got for you today? Well, let's have an overview, because it's been an interesting couple of days. I see that a few people have thrown their toys at the pram. I would say to them it's probably a very good idea if you fully examine what it is that you're saying and what you're saying it about before you tweet it, because the internet remembers. Very interesting. So thank you all who sent me the stuff that was necessary. Enjoy yourselves. It's later than you think. Right, so onwards and upwards without any more guff and nonsense. I've got a few things here today that are rather interesting. So I thought we'd go through them, seeing as it's a nice day and I want to get some stuff done. Okay, first, there's a video doing the rounds, okay, which is well worth a look. And it's a bodybuilder, okay? So that's the first thing I need to tell you as a bodybuilder. And this guy is entered a competition and done so to make a point. And I don't have a huge amount to say about it, but it's essentially a bearded male powerlifter. And he's done it to simply make a point. And it's straightforward, no drama, no messing, no nothing. And I'm not going to say much because I'd spoil it. But there's a guy who's examined it on his YouTube channel, which I'll link to. So I'll link to the YouTube channel of the Dupers. Go and have a look and watch what this weightlifter's done. This is how you do it. It's superb. It's absolutely superb and really, really interesting to see how he's done what he's done. Then you can share it because it's good stuff, folks. It's good stuff, right? Okay, that's the first thing. The next thing is, here we go. Get your head around this, right? Because this is insane. We like the insane here at the Jester channel, don't we, Jesterites? So I'll give you some real insane from the Telegraph that was in an article by Will Hazel and Edward Malnick on the 1st of April 2023. I can't believe that they're doing this, but there they are. Here we go. Ready? New law lets staff sue their boss if customers offend them. Rishi Sunak faces Tory revolt over backing for Lib Dem bill. It's always the Lib Dems, isn't it? These useless, weak tosspots. Over backing for Lib Dem bill that could leave employers facing explosion of litigation. Rishi Sunak is facing a Tory revolt over draconian laws that will allow shop assistants, bar staffs and doctors to sue their employers if a member of the public offends them at work. Can you get your... Hello? Who thought this was a good idea? It's the wibbling Lib Dems, isn't it? The wibbling Lib Dems! The new harassment laws, which will become law, will enable medics to sue the NHS if a patient insults them. Allow bar staff to take legal action against landlords if they're offended by drunk punters. My God, this is a goldmine. And let baristas take coffee shop owners to a tribunal if they overhear offensive remarks made by customers. We should go in every single, what's that awful thing called? Starbucks and Costa, and stand very close to the baristas and go, trans women are women, but they aren't. And watch them go, and then take their employer to court. We'll put Starbucks out of business in a week, okay? Have you ever heard anything so dangerous in your born days? A Whitehall minister said they were sleepwalking into a big expansion of the Labour-era Equality Act. Here we go, see? Which Mr. Sunak had previously blamed for enabling woke nonsense to permeate public life. I mean, I hate the fact that I think we're probably going to have to get a shot of it. I hate it. But it's been misused by bad actors, not within the intention of the original law. The row will come as a major embarrassment to the Prime Minister, who has been seeking to position the Conservative against woke policies that are unpopular with many business owners and working class voters. They're very unpopular with most people, Sunak. Get on with it. Tory backbenchers accuse the government of taking their eye off the ball by supporting a mad private members bill sponsored by 2 Liberal Democrat parliamentarians on course to become law within weeks. The bill was waved through the Commons without a vote during Friday sitting when most MPs were back in their constituencies. Ministers were under pressure to ditch or gut the legislation, with backbenchers warning that purported freedom of speech protections added into the bill will do little to save employers from crippling litigation. This is the everybody's a child crap, isn't it? You're all children now. Right? You're all children, and the lawyers working for the state that will allow you to prosecute the businesses or your school or the baristas or whoever it is we're going to bloody prosecute, because it could be anybody, are saying to you, if you have hurty feel-feels, have you had hurty feel-feels, call this number for a no-win, no-fee. This is the mindset that we're seeing from the Lib Dems, right? Pushing this crap through. The state isn't your mummy and daddy. Government aren't your mummy and daddy. You're grown adults. Stop pretending like you need a mummy and a daddy. Offence is taken, not given. You choose to be offended. Words aren't violence. How about that, right? Words aren't violence. It's that simple, okay? They love the words of violence stuff, though. They love it because it means they can be really violent. Words aren't violence. Now, the Workers' Protection Bill will make employers liable for staff being harassed by third parties, such as customers or members of the public. It's absolute insanity. This is insane. It introduces a legal requirement for companies and public bodies to take all reasonable steps to prevent this. Who wouldn't? You don't need to, if you're in a restaurant and somebody's been an absolute swine, you ask them to leave. I've worked in the bloody industry myself years ago. Jacob Rees-Mogg, the former business secretary, that said establishments that serve the public can expect to run a police state in their business. He's absolutely right. While Sir John Hayes, the chairman of the Common Sense group of Tory MPs, said it had sinister implications. Another Conservative MP, Craig McKinley, said he believed the change was draconian. It is. Lord Frost, the former Cabinet Office Minister, described the bill as a woke socialist measure. Oh yeah, that would have a chilling effect on every conversation in a workplace. Lord Strathcarron, a Tory peer who runs a publishing firm, said bookshops could be put off inviting authors such as J. Rowling to give talks. On the off chance that one of the author's fans might be wearing a t-shirt that says woman equals adult human female, knowing that an employee could sue for hurt feelings, real or vexatious. Well, they'd all be vexatious, wouldn't they? Sue for hurt feelings, right. Other scenarios added could include somebody going into the Dog and Duck, then insulting the barman and the barman suing the landlord. Or someone going for an MOT, the car fails and they slag off the mechanic and the mechanic sues the garage owner. It's mad and no one's thought it through. There seems to be a lot of this not thinking things through going on in Sunak's government. Can you imagine how horrific it'll be if we end up with Keir starting motor? Well, I mean, really? While a separate clause of the bill putting a duty on bosses to prevent the sexual harassment of employees commands broad support, peers are demanding the government drop the introduction of a new obligation on employers to prevent harassment by third parties that relates to a protected characteristics, such as sex, gender reassignment or age. Critics fear this will lead to companies having to expel clients over trivial incidents and facing costly litigation by staff. It goes significantly further than a measure in the original Equality Act, which made employers liable for third-party harassment after 3 separate incidents, known as the 3 strikes rules. The third-party provisions were stripped out of the legislation together by the coalition government in 2013. You can read this for yourself. It's all down in the doobers, but this is a sign of a bigger malaise. It's a sign of a bigger malaise. We really need to revisit duty of care legislation, and it should be as restricted as possible so that it can't get its nasty little tendrils everywhere. If you've got a boss, right, that allows customers to slag you off with impunity, you're working for the wrong person. Right? You're working for the wrong person. Most good bosses will have something to say about it, right? If you've got a client that's treating you badly, then speak to your boss and the boss should deal with it, right? You don't need the legislation to deal with it. You certainly shouldn't be able to sue your boss. If you're being sexually harassed, call the police. It is not the job of an organisation to police this type of thing. It's got nothing to do with the organisation, okay? You call the police, the person is then arrested. At that point, the organisation can suspend them. Right, and if it's found out that they are guilty of what they've said they can sack them. If you are sexually harassed or assaulted and it's unlawful, then go to the police. That's it. What else can I tell you? Right? So it's a difficult one, isn't it? This is going to cause consternation, you see, amongst people that want to support the kind of thing where we can support people who are being sexually assaulted. But it's a thin end of a wedge. It's the thin end of a wedge, and it's got to go. It's all got to go. We're all adults. We have the police. The police should do their job. This is the same principle as I said about universities should not be providing any kind of counselling or any kind of service which is health or health related, that should be done by outside bodies. They shouldn't be involved. This is the gradual creep of a socialist, totalitarian state. Don't say you weren't warned, because that's what they're saying in the article as well. Go and have a look, see what you think. Ta-ta.